Good morning, friends. This is Bill Sorensen here. I had a couple things go down this morning that I kind of want to share with folks. Pretty profound events, two of them actually. What should have been a pretty mundane, normal kind of day turned out to be pretty exciting. So, to preface it, I've had a lot of stuff on me lately, a lot of pressure and things, obstacles, money issues. Everybody in the world is working, dealing with money issues and stuff, and everybody gets a little stressed. But here lately, I've been stressed out a lot. Got things that need to be done, aren't getting done, and things that I do for others that I'm not patient. So I'm a little stressed out. As a matter of fact, last night I didn't sleep at all hard. I got a couple hours of sleep, worrying about a financial situation that turned out to be nothing. Okay. Basically, I went to pre-register for my doctor's appointment. The online thing said the insurance wasn't going to pay, so I was going to have to drop about $300 this morning, which I ain't got. $300 I ain't got. I got it, but it's like Christmas money would be disappearing, that kind of thing. Long story short, so I get to the doctor's office this morning. That squared away in no time. Lovely lady at the front desk helped me square all that stuff away. And I'm sitting there in the waiting room, and I get there early. I try to get there 15, 20 minutes earlier than they say. And this lady walks out where the doctors are from the back, and she's got this absolutely beautiful little girl. I'm going to say 4, maybe 5 years old. Might be 5. Hard to tell because my 4-year-old granddaughter's so tall, it's hard to judge. Anyway, this little girl you could tell she's just been crying. Now, keep in mind, we're at the doctor, so my heart breaks because, you don't know what she went through, a shot or whatever, or, broken and pride. So I said, "Hi, sweetie, how are you?" And she looks up at me and just gives me this, oh, hello, look. So Mama and the little girl sit down. Well, that didn't last too long. Little girl gets Mama's phone and starts prancing around the waiting room. Keep in mind, there's a bunch of people in there, and she's singing and talking, and she's got the phone like this, like she's talking to somebody, and she's having this really loud and boisterous conversation as she's basically prancing around the waiting room. Well, they can tell, these little babies can tell. They know a grandpa when they know that type. They can have you pegged pretty quick. And everybody knows I'm such a sucker for kids, especially the little ones. Oh my goodness. So anyway, she's dancing around and she's making a ruckus, and she's not being mean or obnoxious. She's just a beautiful little exuberant girl, doing what they do. So she comes over to me and she takes her phone and she holds it right in front of my face. So I start talking to the phone. I mean, come on, I know what's going on. I can see what's going on. So she lets me talk to the phone. And then she holds it for a second or two. And then she walks away and just starts smiling and talking to the phone again. She let me in on her conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the good stuff, okay? Now, she's dancing around this waiting room. Lots of folks, especially older folks like me. And she didn't notice the looks that she was getting, the reaction she was getting. She was getting pity from some of those folks. They didn't just see her. They didn't see her exuberance or her joy. They saw a baby with Down syndrome, and I guess they felt sorry for her. And once she didn't see that, she was too in her moment, in her immaculate moment of being a child. She didn't see that, and she didn't see the looks of annoyance from other folks that are in there. Children are allowed, especially the toddlers. Come on now. But she didn't see that. She was too busy being. She was too busy being the beautiful, wonderful creation that God made her. So, and it struck me that maybe I was the only one in the room besides her mother that really saw this baby girl. Okay, this beautiful. She was so pretty, so full of beans. You know how they are. They're so sassy. But maybe I was the only one that actually saw her beside her mom. That hurt me. So, long story short, Mom and her go on. That's the end of that. She gets called back in there, and I don't see him again. So after the doctor's appointment, which went my way, sort of didn't, doctor's appointments are like that. The doctor's fantastic, but I'm getting old. Things are falling apart. But I decided to go to Chipotle for lunch. My wife doesn't really care for Chipotle. So unless I'm with my squad up there in Gaston County, I don't get a whole lot of Chipotle. So I go into Chipotle, and I like the queso, chicken queso. You have to do that thing online. So I'm sitting out in the parking lot, do the online. Order my food, sit around for 10, 15 minutes, go in there and get it. And I sit down in the Chipotle in Concord. It's got like a section back in the back corner, pretty isolated. Well, since my Navy days, I always like to sit alone in the back corner with my back to the wall so I can see what's going on. most vets are like that. I don't know why. We're weird, I guess. I guess, get used to covering our flank or whatever. So I'm sitting there, I'm eating my queso, which was very good, by the way. And I look up and someone's tapping me on the shoulders. I look up and there stands an absolutely gorgeous, I'm not talking about pretty, I mean a gorgeous, beautiful young teenage girl, almost say 15, 16, something like that. Maybe a little bit older. And she says, may I hug you? I'm like, whoa, dude, what's going on with this? Because the life I've lived, I'm always going to think the worst things first. But then I realized her expression was genuine. Her question was genuine. So I stand up and, like always, I speak without thinking. I says, this old man going to get a hug from a pretty girl. You better know that's okay with me. And this young girl, this beautiful young woman that I have no, knowledge of or have never met, she gives me this hug, and it felt like a mom's hug. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was a hug where there's this compassion and warmth and nurturing. And I look up, behind her, she's got like 3 friends over there, and they're proud of her. This is not some prank or something. They're proud of her because she was doing something. I think she was doing something, to make the day of some lonely old man better, even though I wasn't really lonely. I'm sitting there by myself because that's what I do when my wife's not around. But anyway, she gives me this huge hug, and as she walks away, I was stunned. I thought, what in the world was that? And then as I watched them walk out the restaurant to their car, it occurred to me, she thought I needed that hug. All right, part 2. Sorry about that. Had a little interruption to the phone there. But anyway, let's talk about the beautiful young lady that came up and gave me a hug out of the blue at Chipotle. And what I felt was her motive was she thought I needed that hug. And actually, in this time where everybody's so divided and so ugly to each other, she's right. I was stressed out. I've been stressed out, and she sees this old crusty looking dude and all by himself hiding in the corner kind of thing. And so I was really touched by that. And I don't, what the reality is, her motives aren't nearly as important as the timing of it. And that little girl in the doctor's office face, and in this young girl's face, this beautiful, beautiful teenager that happened to be a different race, but I don't pay attention to all that stuff. I saw the face of God. It hit me on the way home, driving home. I turned the radio off. I wanted to study on what the morning had been and what it meant to me. It hit me that was the face of God. We don't get to see God. The Bible's pretty clear about that. We're not capable of comprehending and seeing God. But I got to see the face of God in two strangers today. And I get home and the tension's gone, the anxiety's gone. It's going to be good. I think the good Lord was just reaching down and doing what he does to me occasionally when I get out of hand, thinking too much, doing too much, trying to accomplish too much. He smacked me around a little bit and said, I'm with you. So to the little bitty girl, the little Downs baby that in my mind is perfect, and to the lovely young black girl at Chipotle that gave me a hug out of the blue, thank you. And you've made my day.